Meta have just announced 3 brand new tiers of Meta Verified for both Instagram and Facebook, with the top one coming in at a ridiculously high $500 US per month. Let's get into all the changes, what you will get, how to get it, and if it's actually worth it. So literally yesterday, Meta came out with a blog post announcing changes to Meta Verified. They mentioned that last year they tested Meta Verified with businesses in New Zealand, Australia, and Canada to understand the value of a subscription service and what businesses want from social media platforms, which they realized included tools to build credibility with new audiences, increase engagement, overall brand growth, better customer engagement and connection, and then better account protection. That's what they found that businesses wanted from these tests. Now, based on those tests, they have released 3 new tiers of their Meta Verified program, as they said that they found different businesses with different goals wanted different features, so they are splitting it across 4 different plans. You've got the original Meta Verified, which we've had since last year, and then the 3 new ones that have just been launched. Now, these plans are currently only being tested here in New Zealand and Australia before they are eventually rolled out to Argentina, Mexico, Chile, Peru, France, and Italy, and then I imagine eventually worldwide. Now, I live in New Zealand, so if you want me to drop a ridiculous $500 on a month testing this out for you, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave some likes and comments to hopefully help pay for it. So anyway, let's take a look into this and show you what you're going to get. So the standard tier was released last year. It costs $15 a month for a verified badge, impersonation protection, support, enhanced profile, and search optimization. But we already know this one, so I won't really spend much time on it. Essentially, for $15 a month, you can get a lot of benefit to both security, reach, and growth, which to me is pretty much worth it for anyone trying to grow an audience, whether you're a creator or a business. Now, before we get into the 3 new tiers, I do want to mention that Meta have said that these prices are for one account on one platform. So if you're a business that has Instagram and Facebook, which is probably most of you, you have to individually subscribe to these, which makes it twice the price, although I believe they give you 20% off if you've got one platform already. So that's just worth keeping in mind when looking at these prices, and every price is in US dollars. So the next tier up, and the first of the new ones, is called Business Plus, which costs $49.99 a month and is currently discounted to $44.99 a month, which essentially gives you the same benefits as the standard tier, but you get faster support, the ability to show 3 different addresses if you have multiple locations for your business. On top of that, you can showcase 3 other profiles on your account. I'm not sure how this would look, but if you had different accounts for different countries or locations, or maybe you had multiple businesses that you wanted to show, you could do that. You will also get access to the new featured account feature, where they will promote your account in the feed alongside other accounts, similar to how suggested profiles pop up when you follow someone on Instagram. How effective this is when it comes to reach and growth, I'm not sure, but as we find out, I will create more videos about it. And interestingly, you'll get the ability to add external links to 2 of your reels per month on Instagram or Facebook, which is kind of weird to see Instagram now adding links to reels. And I wonder how this is going to affect the reach on those reels and tools such as ManyChat, which myself and a lot of businesses are now using. Now, when I compare this plan to the next 2 plans we're about to get into, honestly, to me, this one feels like it's not really worth it unless you're a sort of medium-sized company with 2 to 3 different locations, as that feature would be very handy. And if you have multiple locations, then $50 a month is probably not too much to you. But if you're a bigger business or a smaller business, there's probably not much point to it. You're probably better off sticking with the $15 a month or just jumping to the next tier up. Now, the next tier above that is called Business Premium, which will come out at $150 a month, but is currently discounted down to $120 a month. Now, the key difference here to the plan beforehand is instead of just having chat/email support, you can actually request a phone call from a real person at Meta. And you'll also get employee impersonation protection for 2 of your employees, which means they are essentially given the base tier of Meta Verified for free with limited features. How limited those features are, not exactly sure, and there's no real information about. Again, I'm sure time will tell. Now, instead of getting just 3 addresses and 3 profiles, you can have 5 of each. You get more featured on the featured account section, whatever that means. And instead of 2 reels per month with links in it, you can get 4. On top of that, you'll also be able to customize your messages in the DMs with your own themes. Now, the big difference here is the ability to speak on the phone with Meta and give 2 employees the base level of Meta Verified. Now, time will tell how useful the phone support actually is, but if this can help you get over bans or shadow bans or remove impersonations or scams like straight away just with a phone call, then this feature could be really useful, especially for bigger businesses. It's just a little bit rough that it's going to cost almost $2,000 per year to actually have access to. Now, as I touched on earlier, if you're a bigger business that does have like 3 or 4 or 5 locations and you are at risk of impersonation, potentially people trying to hack your accounts, all of that kind of stuff, it could be worth looking into. But again, it's quite a high price tag, so it really depends. You know, if you're doing millions of dollars a year, it might be a small price to pay to have strong support and protection on social media. I guess you got to come to that decision yourself. Now, finally, onto the 4th and final plan at a wild $500 per month, which is currently getting discounted down to just $350 a month because it's our lucky day. You can get Business Max, which is just more of the same from the previous tiers with additional active case monitoring from Meta Support and an account review every 6 months where an advisor will give you guidance to improve your content strategy. Now, these account reviews, Meta have said semi-annually, which I Googled and means twice per year. So it'll be interesting to see if when you subscribe to this for $350 or $500 a month, you straight away get one, or if you have to wait 6 months. So maybe some people might subscribe, get the call, and then ditch the plan. Maybe they make you wait. Time will tell, but you would hope that they could do it a little bit more often, and they might adjust this in time. They might give you less calls or more calls. So I guess we'll find out. You will also be most featured in the featured account section. Get 5 employees on the base Meta Verified, 6 reels per month with links in 8 different locations and 8 profiles. But honestly, if I'm spending $6,000 a year, which is over 10,000 New Zealand dollars every single year, I would be wanting links on every reel I post and calls every month from an expert to help me out. But that's just me. Look, shameless plug, but if you want better one-on-one advice for a fraction of the price, you can go and book a consulting call with me and it'll cost nothing in comparison to those numbers. And personally, I think you'll get way more out of it. So I'll leave that link down below. Now, I'm just going to be straight up with you. These 3 new plans are targeted towards businesses, and Meta are pretty clear and open about that. These are not targeted at creators or individuals. And honestly, whilst these prices seem really high to creators and people like me and you potentially at first look, if this is a business that's got 5 different locations with stores, then spending $150 a month to be able to link all 5 store locations and accounts, increase their reach, get 2 key employees on Meta Verified, and the ability to get on the phone with Meta if something goes wrong, it may well be worth it. Because if you have 5 locations, you're likely doing maybe $1 million or multiple millions of dollars per year in revenue. And a lot of that might be coming through social media. And this stuff is important. It is a bit of a hefty price tag, but it really is something you got to weigh up, keeping everything safe online. For a lot of people, it won't be worth it, and that's fair, but for some, it might. And then in the instance that you're a large multinational company, then spending $350 to $500 a month, again, could be worth it to get all of the protection, verification, and increased reach. But like I said, if you're a creator, I can't see any reason for any of these new plans being useful, aside from the ability to get on the phone with Meta if something goes down. But again, that's going to cost you $150 a month. and you might only need it once every 3 or 4 or 5 years if something goes wrong. And so at that point, you're paying like $2,000 a year. If that's over 2-3 years, that's like $6,000 if once in the next 3 years something goes wrong, which is a lot to spend just to get some support. And you might get similar support over email, just taking longer. So it'll be interesting to see how useful some of these features are. And it's not something I can say right now, but as the time goes by, we will make more videos on it. Other big factor to weigh up whether these are useful will be how much reach you get from the featured account section and how good the phone support actually is when you need it. If they're just going to get on the phone and tell you the exact same stuff they would have told you over email, just slightly faster, then it might not be worth it. But if it means you get a bit more back and forth and can better explain your situation and get a better outcome, it might be. Same with the added reach. If you're going to get like 100, 200 impressions coming in each month, it's probably a waste of money. But if all of a sudden you're getting a ton of new customers from your profile getting recommended, then it could be very well worth it. Personally, I think some of these features, such as the ability to link many different locations, better support, and employee protection, are great for Meta to add as a paid service, as these services are only really needed by large companies who are probably pretty desperate to get better support and protection against increasingly large amounts of impersonation attacks and identity theft. To these companies, it's probably worth a couple $100 a month for this feature, which means Meta can afford to then pay for more support stuff, so these people are actually looked after. However, when it comes to other features like the increased recommendations, where you spend $500 a month to get some additional reach, I personally don't really like that, because in my opinion, recommendations should be based on the merit of the content or the account and how good that is, not how much someone spends per month. And then giving someone more reach because they spent $500 instead of $150 is just off to me. I'm all for spending money to grow your business, and if you want to spend money on reach, let people run ads or boost content or pay influencers or something like that, I don't really like the idea of taking away organic reach and replacing it with people who have paid for the suggested feature. It's just a little bit weird to me, but it's what the platform's decided, so we just have to adapt. But I want to know what you think of these changes, and business owners, will you be getting this? What tier will you be looking at? Let me know down in the comments. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, let me know if this is something you want me to try out, being $500 or $350 for the first month. It'll make it inexpensive, but I can get it done. I'll drop links to my free course down in the description if you want to go jump in there and get some up-to-date strategies on how to grow your audience and get more customers. And you're not even going to have to spend $6,000 a year to get access to it.